Okay, it's the 9th of the 2nd, 2013. The time is 6:53 p.m. It's in Werribee, Australia, and the temperature is now 32 degrees. Now I'm doing this by obviously light, electrical light, but normally I would do this to candlelight with my altar, which is in front of me in the east. But you wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing then, so it wouldn't matter. What I'm about to do now is the lesser ritual of the hexagram. I have to do it quickly. It has to come in under 15 minutes, and sometimes it can take up to an hour with concentration in the different quarters, so in the different elements: earth, air, fire and water. Normally you move from left to right, so clockwise, so going from east to south. I won't do that so you can see the forms of the hexagram, which are all different in this ritual, unlike the pentagram ritual. Anything else? No, and that's about it. Okay, so I'll begin now. We begin with the Kabbalistic cross. Ato. Now I should have said you should imagine a vertical white light penetrating the top of your forehead. Move your hand down now to the solar plexus. Imagine that white light coming down through the forehead, through the solar plexus, right down to the feet and right down to the center of the earth. Malkuv. All the words should be intoned or pronounced as ceremoniously as possible. Okay. Now your right hand goes to your right shoulder. Imagine a sphere of red light there. Viebura. Cross to the left shoulder. So now you've got a white horizontal beam of light going to the left shoulder. Imagine an orange sphere there. Vigejula. Clasp your hands in front of you as in prayer and imagine that horizontal beam of white light penetrating your hands. Imagine a white light pulsating between your hands. Liolem. Place your hands over your heart. Good. Amen. So now you have the formula of the rosy cross. Now we begin the hexagram. In the east, we trace a triangle from the top point down to the left hip, over to the right, then back up to the top point. From the center of that triangle, we go from the top point down to the left hip, over to the right, and back up. So now we have two triangles floating in the air in front of us. Visualize that and imagine it, blue or white light. Place your hands into the center of the hexagrams and vibrate this word. Aita. Aita. Now we would go to the south. This time we trace a different form of the hexagram, starting from the top point, down to the bottom, off over to the right, then back up to the top. Now from the bottom point, we go up to the right, over to the left, and down again. So now we have a Star of David hanging in the air. Araita. Again we move around, this time from south to west, and again a different hexagram. From the top point down to the bottom left point, and then up. And now below that one, from the right point, but not touching. These two shouldn't be touching. There should be a gap between them. From the right point over to the left, then down, then up. So now we have two triangles hanging in the air. Aita. Now round to the north. Different form of the hexagram again, from the bottom up to the right hand corner, over to the left and down to the bottom again. And then this time they touch from the bottom point, which will be the top of this new triangle, down, across to the right, then up. So now you have two triangles touching each other tip to tip, floating in the air. Again we vibrate the name Aita. Aita. Now always with these vibrations of words, imagine the word, breathe it in through your nose, and then vibrate it right down to the tips of your feet, then out through the centre of the arm. If you're doing it vocally out loud, do it as I've been doing it, or you can just vibrate them inwardly, which I normally do. Okay, so now we would go from the north and complete the circle in the east. So now just visualize that circle with all forms of the hexagram floating around you and protecting you. If you ever need to release any tension or feel energy is not flowing properly, take a deep breath, right up into the chest, then let it out, and like a rag doll just bend over and try and touch the toes of the ground. Do as best you can. Don't force. But if the if the legs start shaking, don't worry about it. Let them shake. Okay. Alright. Now arms out in the sign of Osiris slain. Vibrate these words. Yod Nan Resh Yod. Go to the sign of Osiris, the sign of the morning Isis. Head bowed a little bit to the left hand. I just repeat the words, the sign of the morning Isis. Go to the sign of Typhoon and Apophis, looking up a little bit with the head. Again, just repeat, the sign of Typhoon and Apophis. Vibrate Typhoon and Apophis inwardly. Then we go to the sign of Osiris risen. And again we say, the sign of Osiris risen. Again we go through it once more. L, V, X, Lux. The light of the cross. Normally I hold this position for a little while. It's a good energy shifter. But after that we go back to the sign of Osiris slain. And this time we invoke these words. Virgo, Scorpio, Sol, Isis, Apophis, Osiris, Mighty Mother, Destroyer, slain and risen. Hold that position as long as you like. Sometimes I do the middle pillar here. And then we go, E-R-O. Hold the hands there and let the divine light descend upon you. And that's it for the lesser ritual of the hexagram. The only other thing to do is to complete the keyword analysis. Now these 4 words help equilibrate the 4 elements. So I like to do this 3 times, 3 vibrations. X up, X up, X up, Hakoma, 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 Nanta, 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 Bijum, Bijum, Bijum. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that's helpful. Thank you.